Hey, welcome to the Highways and Byways podcast. I'm your host, Chris Carlisle, and I have some stories to tell you. I'll have the first one in a minute. Okay, here's a story from my book, Read, Laugh, Repeat, 101 Laugh Out Loud Stories from my Chicken Soup for the Soul book, compiled by Amy Newmark. The story is called It Takes a Lickin', and then a man named Manly Fisher talks about how much his wife Julie hates cats. She doesn't just dislike them, she hates them. Probably because they used to bother her when she was trying to milk cows on her family farm, hoping she would spill some milk. Anyway, they got invited when they were first dating to go out to her sister's house to help build a jungle gym for her sister's kids. Mr. Fisher, that is, wrote that they're also probably trying to see if he would fit in with the family. So they started on the project in the morning, and by night they still weren't finished. So they decided to spend the night and finish the next day. Julia was a bit apprehensive because her sister has a cat, and cats don't like Julia more than she likes them. But they do like Manly. The cat let him pet her, and they went to bed. At around 4 o'clock in the morning, Manly woke up and said something to Julie, and then he turned around and saw that the cat was licking his armpits. Anyway, he says they've been married 25 years now, and they don't own a cat. Okay, I have another book called Best Tales of Texas Ghosts, written by Docia Schultz Williams. There's one story called The Haunted Taylor Mansion, and it talks about the fact that the birthplace of former First Lady Lady Bird Johnson might be haunted. Her brother Tony Taylor told famed writer Frank X. Tolbert one time that he heard the sounds of a woman crying. He believes it's the spirit of a woman who happened to be the daughter of the man who built the mansion. She got killed when she got struck by lightning. When she sat next to the fireplace, the lightning bolt had come down through the chimney. Yikes. When I was a teenager back in the 1980s, I remember watching the old Saturday wrestling show, Championship Sports, on then independent KTVT Channel 11 from Fort Worth, Texas. The matches took place in Fort Worth, usually at the Will Rogers Coliseum, with some shows being at the Will Rogers Auditorium and other special shows at the Tarrant County Convention Center. The famous Von Erich brothers were the show's stars. I actually started watching it after David Von Erich died. The Von Erichs, whose real name is Atkinson, and their father Jack, who worked as legendary wrestler Fritz Von Erich, was the owner of the promotion. Their most famous feud was with the fabulous Freebirds, Michael Hayes, Betty Roberts, and Terry Gordy. Okay, last week I recapped an episode of the old show, the CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Here's a recap of another one. It's one that I actually have on my MP3 player. It's called Honeymoon with Death, and it stars actress Lois Nettleton. And in the story as it opens, newlywed bride Jennifer Brady is talking to her husband, Howard Lansing, about how much fun she had on her honeymoon that they just got back from. They talk about how they're going to be sharing their apartment with Jennifer's sister Margaret. Later, when Jennifer goes to ask Howard if he locked the keys to his red sports car, she finds him dead. Somebody stabbed him. But when she tells Margaret, Margaret tells her that there is no Howard. A cop shows up and at Jennifer's request goes and checks the crime scene, but finds no sign of any crime. Jennifer also remembered that she took a bath, but when they checked the tub, it's dry. She also remembered that Howard had put his clothes in the closet, but when they look, they only find hers. As Officer Ahmed leaves, she remembers Howard's sports car, but when they look outside, there's no sports car. The next day, Ed goes back to the house to talk to Jennifer some more, who seems to resign to the fact that maybe she's not married. But she remembers the chapel that the ceremony took place, and also the hotels they stayed at the month-long cross-country honeymoon. Maggie shows up to tell Jennifer it's time to go to her psychiatrist. Howard Lansing, who ain't so dead after all, also shows up. He tells Officer Helmet that he's engaged to Margaret, who claims to know nothing about him. Later, Ed checks out the hotels and the wedding chapel. Back at the house, Margaret tells Howard that they're going to kill Jennifer by making it look like she overdosed on sleeping pills. Officer Helmet goes back to the house to arrest him for fraud and then changes it to attempted murder when he finds out that they had given Jennifer sleeping pills. It turns out that Howard and Jennifer did get married, and while they were on their honeymoon, Maggie had made the house decorated the house that they're in to look like the other house, which was the one that Jennifer actually found Howard in. Ed had gone in there and found some fake blood and a gag knife. The police arrive just as Jennifer is waking up. Oh, and they also tied it in with Howard's sports car, which had the service sticker at the hotel they stayed at. My 10 times great-grandfather, John Ellis, was born in 1599 in Wales. He was married to Rebecca Pettit, who was born in 1602. Their son Morris, my 9 times great-grandfather, was born in 1618 in Wales. He was married to Catherine Wales, who was also born in 1618. Their son Cadwallader was my 8 times great-grandfather, and was born in 1647, also in Wales. He was married to Jane Rowland. She was born in 1653. Their son, who was also named Cadwallader, was my 7 times great-grandfather. He was born in 1677 in Wales, and was married to Margaret Edwards. She was born in 1680. Their daughter Mary was my 6 times great-grandmother. She was born in 1715 in Virginia, and I think was one of my earliest ancestors born in the New World. She was married to my 6 times great-grandfather, Evan William Jones. Their son Joshua was my 5 times great-grandfather. He was born in 1739 in Pennsylvania. His son Joshua was my 4 times great-grandfather. He was born in 1785 in Tennessee. His son John was my 3 times great-grandfather and was born in 1818 in Alabama. He was married to Sally Davis. She was born in 1850 in Texas and was married to my 2 times great-grandfather Jesse Brookshire. He was born in 1833 in Tennessee. Their daughter Georgia Edna was my great-grandmother. Okay, before I go, here's a word from the good book. It's from the 34th Psalm, chapter 19. It says, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all." Be sure to leave a like and a rating on whatever platform you listen to. Thank you for listening and watching on YouTube. And until next time, this is Chris saying, I'll see you later.